90s, a young man walked into the offices of all music companies and somehow was turned away by everyone. They found his music too experimental, out of the box, and not in sync with the times at that point of time. He went back home, locked himself in a room, and created a sound that never existed. Today we know him as A.R. Rahman. A.R. Rahman didn't fit any market because he became the market. Fast forward to 2026, everybody in some form or the other is asking this question, will AI take my job? And if WhatsApps, dinners, hostel discussions, and if this question is not being asked, that means you're not in the right room. The issue is, that is a wrong question. And the best part about wrong questions are that they sound very similar to the right question. Too much of question play out here. Rahman never asked, will I be able to make better music than this? Will someone make better music than me? He just stuck to what he was good at. A couple of months ago, a mentee of mine, MBA student, sharp as a blade, came up to me and said, boss, I'm in data analysis. Will AI take my job? Today, what I do can be replaced by a prompt. I looked at him, smiled, and I told him, I'll ignore the question. His face fell. And I told him, that's a terrific question, but you got it completely wrong. Why? Because by asking this question, we are putting ourselves in the spectator's position. We are not the audience of our life story. We are the story. Whatever is happening is not happening to you, it is happening because of you. If we understand that concept, if we understand the simple thing, then we can maybe move towards what the right question is. Everybody knows Chatur from Three Idiots. He had one agenda, he wanted to compete with everybody. AI is the ultimate Chatur in my analysis. It can memorize faster, recall faster, and it never sleeps. So if our game plan is to out-Chatur the machine, we've already lost. Rancho had a different game. He was not trying to beat the toppers. He was trying to find out, what do I love enough to master? In the history of disruptions, and they keep taking on so many times, when cinema came in, everybody asked, will it destroy theatre? But it created a new form of entertainment, and everybody is waiting to see Odyssey. When internet came in, everyone thought, will it be the end of books? But with Amazon and Audible, thousands of writers, including yours truly, have found new viewers and new readers. So every disruption creates something much bigger. If our agenda and intent is to focus on the destruction, we miss on the creation. So the right question, in my limited knowledge, what can only I do? What is a good paying job? What am I good at? What does the market want? These are all important questions, but they're second order questions. First and foremost, we need to understand what is that one thing that exists only and only because we are around. In Dead Poets Society, Robin Williams, when he's teaching his class, comes up with a thing about the powerful play of life. And he asks his students, what will your verse be? This question has survived decades. And I ask the same question again today, not what will your job be, what will your verse be in the story of your life? Imagine people whom you admire the most, not necessarily the richest, not necessarily the most famous, people whom you feel, who make you feel alive. They all have an answer, not a correct answer, not a perfect answer, not the final answer, but they have some semblance of an answer to this question. AI can write any amount of screenplay, but they cannot write your screenplay because they have not failed as you have. They have not pained as you have. They have not loved as you have. So, they have not sat in a hostel in Pune at 2 a.m. in the night staring at the ceiling and wondering, was it worth it? But still get up at 6 a.m. and go back to the grind. That AI will never be able to find because they haven't felt it. That's your USP. In the end, it all comes down to irreplaceability. What am I good at? And it is not something that you're born with, it is done by practice, with design. 3 things to remember with this. 1, develop your point of view. Everybody has an opinion in life. It's free. AI can synthesize any amount of information available at the drop of a hat, but it cannot give the point of view of a person who's gone through it. It cannot tell you, nobody told me this in my existence. I have not felt this. It's all just data. In 2020, I remember this story. 2 people wrote a book on remote work. Gentleman A wrote a book completely on data-driven analysis. Very good book. Very excellent, useful, easily forgettable. Lady B wrote a book about her 19 days at home. What it did to her marriage, what it did to her mind, what it did to her ambition in life. Somehow, people went viral with that. Not that the other book was bad, but this book had better emotions behind it. AI can never give that. Second, master the room, whichever room you go into. But can it tell you how to read between those words? Like we keep saying, read between the lines, feel the room, feel the presence around. Presence is not words. Presence has to come from within. No prompt can make a locker room stand up and believe in that. Thirdly, become someone worth being uncomfortable for. That professor the mentor who stayed 2 extra hours with you on the call because you reminded them of their younger self. That colleague who let you go from their team to another, knowing very well the loss you are going to lead to that, but for your betterment. Or even the professor who gave you a recommendation letter late at night, knowing it would help you in the future. Uncomfortable. None of this was optimized, can never be optimized, it has to be felt. Anybody heard the term Kizuna? Japanese term for shared struggle. But everybody's heard of Sholay? Everyone remembers Jay and Veeru? Jay and Veeru is our Indian version of Kizuna. They shared every struggle together. Be it the train journey, be it Ramgarh's issues, or be it the final finale. Everyone forgets Gabbar's network, but they remember Jay and Veeru's bond 50 years later also. That uncomfortable feeling that they both went through, they were not going through the fun of it. They enjoyed, they were doing it for each other. That bond, that struggle, shared struggle, everyone remembers. Coming back to my MBA friend, who was feeling a little bad, I sat with him for 3 months and worked with him, and I came to the conclusion that, okay, we will not find you an AI-proof job. Let's find out what you are good at. Somehow, in a rural assignment that he had done as a volunteering job, he came up with the fact that he taught the kids numbers via cricket statistics. No algorithm taught him to do that. He just felt passionate about cricket. And it was easier for him to explain to people that way. Today, he's running an fintech for rural vernacular literacy. He's not scared of AI. He's using AI and getting work done in a day, which he would have done in a month. Change of perception, change of room, and in his favor again. The world does not need machines. It needs emotions to run those machines. So next time, when somebody asks you, will AI take my job? Just smile. Go back home and ask yourself the same question which I posed before you all. What can only I do? Because the world, Mr. Cobb, needs a balanced leader. What can only you do? My name is Yusuf Poonawalla, and that's my time. Thank you very much.